Oh, hello. Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and today I'd like to do an animal that everyone is familiar with. It's called a white whale or a beluga. They're probably about 14 or 15 feet. You know, they live in the Arctic waters, but it's a beautiful whale. And I'll show you how to make that from start to finish. I'll show you the types of clay that we can use. We can use an oil-based clay such as this, which never hardens. You know, I used to use this all the time as a kid, and I loved it because, you know, I'd make stuff, and then when I got tired and bored with it, I just make something else. Another type of clay that you can use is air-hardening clay, such as this, which hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight. And what's great about this is once it hardens, you can paint it. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven about 275 degrees for 15 or 20 minutes. And it, you know, you can drill it, sand it, you can make a tremendous amount of detail. It's a very good clay to work with. And the clay that we'll be using today is a clay called Sculpey 3. And what I like about this is it's a colored clay. It's made by Sculpey, but we don't have to worry about painting it. And the colors we'll be using this color here. I like it's a beautiful, what do they call it? Tranquility blue, white, and I'll be using black. And I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using today. I'll move that out of the way. We're using this size ball here for the body. There'll be a couple of small balls here that hasn't taken off right here. These are going to be the flippers. They're on the side. This is going to be for the tail, the very back. And we also have, I'll just point to it, you see a couple of little black dots there. Those are going to be the eyes. And I am using the regular Super Sculpey. We're going to use that for the base. The first thing that I want to do is show you that we're going to be making the body, but I also have some wire that we're going to use today. This wire here is going to be inserted into the body because it's going to maintain the position of the tail when it's firing in the oven. I want to show you, see how I have his tail up? By having that wire in there, it'll maintain the position of the tail when it's being fired in the oven. And they also have a couple of smaller pieces of wire that we'll insert in the flippers on the side, which is about this big. So the first thing that we want to do is take and make the body. So I'll show you. We're going to take this, and I'm going to take it in my hand right here. And what I think we could do is we want to put this down on the table and roll it a little bit because we want to start to make the body. At least and I'll show you, we're starting to make that shape for the body. See that? Now it makes it a little easier. So it's almost like a cylinder. One side is bigger than the other. Well, I'm going to take and start to sculpt this into the tail. What we want to do, see I'm thinning that out? And on the top and the back, you want to make it, see I'm pinching that there? The clay? I'll move it back and forth so you get a better view of it because sometimes the white, when you're looking at complete white clay, I do the same thing in the back. See that? I'm pinching it with my fingers, but then we want to make this a little narrower. So then we'll continue. Now we're going to work on making the head. So this portion here is going to be the head. So just keep working it. And I'm going to try to make the snout or the nose area. See, I'm thinning that out. And I just keep working it with my fingers. So now, and then there's like a little bump on the nose right here. See how I'm kind of making that? See that? So we're going to work the head a little more like this. Just like that. Then we're going to work the tail a little more. See how I'm doing that? Just like that. I'll flip it over. We'll do the same pinch. There. See how I've made that? That's a good start on the body. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make what I call the tail or the flukes. See these two pieces right here? That's the tail. We're going to attach those two flukes to the tail. That's what helps propel the whale through the water. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to get the two pieces of clay. And the shape, I'll show you the shape that we want to make. So I like to keep that out of my way there. I'm going to see I'm flattening this out with my fingers. And then we're going to make it, I'll show you the shape that we want, flatten it out. But now, kind of almost make it a little pointed back here. See that shape that we have right now? That's the shape that we want for the one of the flukes or for the tail. I'm going to make that. You see how I've flattened that out? And we want to make that shape. I want to proceed to make the other one. So I'm going to take this ball of clay. Let's flatten it out with our fingers like this. But then, after I flatten it out, I want to kind of start to work on that shape. Like that. See how we're doing that? Kind of making that a little pointed. You want to keep that flat, like that. But then we're going to go back to working that shape again. Just like that. So see how we did that? See that nice shape? So what we're going to do is we're going to have them like that when we put them on the tail. So I'll show you what we're going to proceed to do. We're going to take this one here, and attach it to the side right here. And kind of work the clay a little bit with our fingers. I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. I want to make sure that it's attached. See that? And we're going to proceed to do the other side. I'll take this, see this here? And we'll push it in, attach it, and then we're going to make sure that that's attached there. We'll make sure it's attached on the other side. See how I'm working that clay in? Just like that. Now don't worry about the proportions. I'm just trying to show you the techniques. See how that looks? And then we're going to proceed to make the flippers. And the flippers are right here. These are the two flippers. See that? We want to make that shape there. And then we're going to proceed to do the other side, the other flipper on the other side. I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to take these two balls of clay. We're going to do the same thing. Flatten these out like we did the other ones. See how I'm making them nice and flat? But then I want to show you, we're going to start to shape it in the shape of the flipper. Like that. See that? It almost looks like a candle flame of sorts, if you look at it. And we're going to proceed to do the other one in the same manner. We'll flatten it out. Like that. See how I'm making that nice and flat? And now we'll proceed to make almost like that candle flame-like shape. And I'm going to put these two side by side. They're approximately the same size. That's what I wanted. And now what we're going to do is I want to show you one other thing. I did mention that we're going to use the wire. So the wire here, what we can do is I'm going to push the tail up a little bit like this. See that? And we're going to proceed to take and insert the wire in through the back here. See how I'm putting that in? And what we can do is I can put it down on the table like this. That way I can push it through. You know, it might come through on the side, but it doesn't matter. We'll just push it back in. And I'm going to continue to push that in. Let's see. I'm going to use a little metal thing here to, we'll use the table. Because that way you don't hurt your hand. See how I did that? It's almost all the way in. But that will help keep the tail up in the position that we want. Now what we're going to proceed to do is I'm going to take those other two little pieces of wire, this right here, and I'm going to insert it into one of the flippers right here. See that? So insert it like that. And then I'm going to proceed. See this little piece still sticking out? I want to put it on the side of the whale, but I want to smooth the whale out a little bit. Because once we put that in there, it'd be hard to smooth it out again. I'm going to take, you see that light there? And we're going to push that in like that. Isn't that cool? We'll proceed to do the same side, or the other side in the same manner. I'm going to take the little piece of, push it in, see there? I'm going to push it down into the flipper and try to keep it in the center so it doesn't come through. And then what I'm going to proceed to do is we'll put the flipper on the other side like that. See how I did that? And then what I'm going to do is I have a little sculpting tool. I'm going to take and try to put the clay, take it and put the clay like that, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I want to make sure that it's attached. So now I do see a little bit of the wire. So one of the things you can do to take care of that is you can get more clay. I have some more white clay right here. And I'm going to put it on top of where that wire is, right here. We want to hide that. And just work this over the piece of wire. See how it disappeared? And you'll see over here, you can kind of see the wire here. We're going to do the same thing on this side. And we're going to place the piece of clay over it and just kind of work that in like that. But now what I also want to do is smooth out the whale with my thumb. Take this, and the clay is a little rough here. Take and just smooth it out, the skin out a little bit. See how I'm doing that? You want to smooth that out, just like that. And then we'll proceed to do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll go all around the whale. I want to make sure that we smooth it out. Then I'm just working the head a little bit, Just trying to, I want to look at the tail again. Just smooth out any areas that appear that need to be smoothed out. Just takes a few minutes. See how nice that looks now? It's really starting to take shape. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to work on making the mouth. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of toothpick here, and we'll start to make the mouth, and I'll show you. I'm going to make a little indentation here on the side, just like that. Now we're going to work our way all the way around. See how I'm doing that? And then we'll proceed. I'm going to take this. We're going to proceed to make it all the way around. See how I did that? We can flip it over. And I also want to make a little blowhole like on the top. We'll take this object here. Just going to make a little blowhole up here. See how I did that? And then we're going to take the two black pieces of clay that I have here, the little dots, and we're going to proceed to place one of the eyes right here. See that? And then we'll proceed to do the same thing for the other side. I want to make sure I'm in the same location. So we're going to put that there. See how I did that? Pretty cool. It's starting to really start to take shape. And then the next thing that we want to do, we want to start working on the base. So that's where the super sculpey comes back in. We're going to take this, work it, and I'm going to take and place it right here. See how I'm doing that? We're going to make the nice base, but we're going to use this to start, just like that. I'm going to have a trusty paper towel. I'm going to get some of this clay off my hands, the white, because now we're going to take a beautiful color that I like. It's called Tranquility. It's a beautiful, like bluish color. We're going to take little pieces of it, and I'm going to put it around the super sculpey. So it's easy to do this, you know, that way we can give it the color for the water. See how I'm doing that? And we'll just keep flattening it out, working it on to the water base. And take that. Then, see how nice that's starting to look? We're going to put it all the way around. I'll show you. So we take this, we flatten these out, almost like a pancake. See how I'm doing that? Pinch it with you between your finger and your thumb. Put it on here. See how I did that? And that looks really nice. See how that's really starting to take shape? We just got to do a little bit more. And we flatten it out. I'm going to take this now, place this right on here, and we're going to work it Just like that. See, I'm working that in all the way around. So instead of painting it blue, we just use colored clay and put it over the super sculpey. And another thing that we want to do is I want to take this white clay now, take little pieces of it, and we're going to place little pieces of white clay all around this blue base. And I'll show you what we'll do next. It's really cool once we take these pieces of clay. See how I'm doing that? Just going to place it on there like that. Then, see, I'm just going to place a little bit here and there. See that? I'm going to take okay, so now, see how I did that? Now what we want to do is we want to get tin foil. This can be bought like, you know, in a supermarket or a drugstore. You take the tin foil, you crinkle it up, and now what we want to do is make it so we can get these rough edges. So now you want to take and pull it along the clay like this. You want to create that water-like effect. See how I'm doing that? But see how now it's mixing with the blue and the white. So it's, see how nice that looks? Gives a really nice effect. So we're going to go completely around the base in that manner. Just like that. Now this is a new way for doing the water. Instead of using the paints to create the color, we're using colored clay. See how that looks? Really nice. So the next thing that we want to do is take our whale and we want to place him on the base. So I'm going to take the whale here and I'm just going to put him down. See that? And then work him into the base like this. Just like that. And then you can, if you want, you can smooth out the whale a little more. But he's pretty much done. So once you smooth it out a little more, you know, I would just probably work the clay a little more. And it will be ready for firing. And when you fire this type of clay, you can fire it in the oven for 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then it will become hard. I'll show you what the finished version will look like once you've fired it in the oven. Just want to wipe my hands a little bit now. This is what he will look like when he's completed. See the beautiful black eyes, the blowhole, the fins. I'll flip them around so you can see it from different angles, or the flippers. The nice tail. See how we did that? And that's what your final version of your white whale or beluga will look like. I do want to thank you for coming to Creations of Clay tonight, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.